No moi, it's Joynin, and welcome to Crappy Designs! Terrible designs. Hey editor, can we get Comic Sans? Cause that's funny. Cause it's Comic Sans, which is bad in design terms. I would know because if you've been watching for a little while, you would know I have a design degree, which means I can officially title this video Designer Reacts to Crappy Designs. Which I honestly don't think my qualifications will be very relevant at all in this video because most of them are probably just terrible enough that they're just terrible in general. But hey, if you can get away with the title, it's definitely worth it. Oh. Well, color me wrong. We have an actual design related one first up. Arial font. Uppercase I, lowercase L, the exact same, which always frustrated me so much, not just Arial, because let's be real here, one needs to be taller than the other, specifically the, hold on, how am I thinking about this? Specifically the gosh, so much for a design degree, I don't even know which one's supposed to be taller, I think the L. I think it's the L. Anyway, it's just annoyed me that just in the English language in general, like the English written language, why is uppercase I and lowercase L the exact same thing? Why does it have to be like that? I know. It's only in sans serif. Is it a confusion? But still, it's frustrating. Oh. Nice. Dot a couple lights around. Hey, look, you know, if the illumination works, that is shocking. That is really bad. Even if you wanted that many lights, you could have done it in so many different, better ways. Oh, why are they like that? Just get bigger lights. Just get bigger lights if you want more light, or just, I don't know, stronger bulbs. It looks like an octopus, but like, not even symmetrical. Our municipality made bike lanes for us finally. Oh yeah, nice. This is exactly the subreddit we looked at the other day. You had one job. No, actually, if you were to take this as you had one job, it would actually make a lot of sense because the person who painted these lines indeed had one job, and that job was not to knock a piece of concrete over. That's not their job. I mean, it's fair enough, you can just go around, but I guess that's what makes it a bad design then. Just because you don't understand it doesn't make it bad. It's a challenge. It's just a hurdle. It's actually just for pros. You gotta bunny hop it. Why is it there anyway? Here's the real thing. Even before the bike lanes were painted there, this is still a super random piece of concrete. Oh my gosh. Oh, what? Why are people always trying to make toilet seats as ugly as they possibly can? Like, why is every custom toilet seat just absolutely horrid? That looks actually disgusting. And even if we set aside the design pattern here just literally looking like an absolute spray splatter of an accident, why are we making a toilet lid see-through? At that point, what's the point of the lid? A see-through toilet lid just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I know that there shouldn't really be anything in the toilet that you're trying to hide, but you know, you're not cleaning your toilet every time you go. It still takes, at the very least, a little while to get around to cleaning it, and it's not always going to be spick and spam, let's be honest. Please don't say splatter in that context. Oh my goodness, that is terrifying. That is actually terrifying. Look at these faces at the bottom here. My goodness, they love it though. They love it. Both of them. Hey, look, if someone enjoys it, look at this one up here. I actually think it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool in a really dumb way. Like, it's absolutely terrifying, but as long as you're okay with that, I kind of like it. Believe, empower, lead, inspire, support, create. Beanra. Why is it Beanra? It could have just as easily have been Belisk. Why is Beanra the better one to go with? Like, an acrostic poem, pick the first letter. But Belisk is not any worse than Beanra anyway. Why is it like this? Who did that? There's a bean in it. That's why it's Beanra. Just because it's got the word bean in it. Belisk. I googled it and I think it's resident salt. Beanra actually is a thing. There's a reason for it to be Beanra. Even still, that is not how acrostic poems work. And look, if you were gonna cheat an acrostic poem and you wanted it to be vertically, at the very least, center your red letters. Like, have the words slightly offset so that the red letters run down in the middle and you can actually read Beanra if Beanra is so important to you. There's a little design bit for you. A little solution there to your design problem. Die. Die. Hey, look, I mean, it kind of works, right? Because we got like, you know, Diesel. You got such a masculine energy in the form of a brand named Diesel. Why don't we just go all the way and say Diesel, die basic? Diesel, die, die, die. Basic. You know, it's just manly. Undies that say die, so manly. I mean, if you've got to show 3 letters, what's better? Is, esse, or sell? Sell, sell, sell. This apartment in Munich, price tag around, I hate, here's bad design. I hate design, but there's no commas. $500,000. Has a sloping floor because it's right above the underground garage. I've been wanting to make one of these videos about like terribly designed houses because they've been going around at the moment. There was a listing I found just the other day that popped up in Melbourne that's got some absolutely shocking choices, but I just need a couple more. How are you supposed to get to the toilet? Yeah, I imagine you sit on that thing and your legs just dangle. Your legs are just like, wee! You could just kick your legs back and forth while sitting on the toilet. This is like a dude's nightmare, trying to pee into that thing, because like you can't really stand over it very well. You'd be really short compared to it. You've got to kind of... Look, like I said, I'm just here to provide solutions. Why the toilet up there? If you were going to put anything up there, why the toilet? Not only that, just flatten it out. Add a couple stairs or something. I don't know. This reeks of aftermarket windows. I guess it's the back of the house, not the front. Yeah, I guess that is something you never really think about. You can't just put windows on your house and them look fine on the inside. You got to also think about their placement on the outside. My Sims builds when I was 6. This has got to be like one of those like laws where it's like, no, there absolutely has to be a light here. And they're like, okay. It gets weirder the longer you look at it. I assume that this is going to still require some, what's the word? Rendering. I imagine they're still gonna, you know how this one's got all the paint on the outside? There's probably gonna get a little dash of paint. It's not gonna look like that when it's done, but it is always gonna have a street light going straight through the balcony. Why couldn't they just shorten that one too? They shortened that one. Why can't they just make that one short? I mean, setting aside the fact that it would be actually really annoying to live in this apartment because there would just be a light on the entire night. Right there, right out front your window that you can't turn off. You just get out there and pull the globe out yourself. All right, we got some emojis. Let's start at the bottom. WhatsApp, that's a mouse. Samsung, another mouse. Microsoft, flat mouse. Google, slightly less flat. It's a flat, but it has a gradient. Apple. Soap. Just soap. Oh, it's so dumb, Apple. I get it. I get that you're trying to be like, oh, our mouses are clean. They don't have any sweeping. Setting aside the fact that that mouse is the single worst thing that anyone has ever designed. It sucks and I hate it. It's an emoji. Think about the use case here, Apple. When someone sends a photo of an emoji of a mouse, they're never gonna use this because the other person isn't gonna know what they're talking about. The whole point of the emoji is to convey something. This does not convey mouse. If you write the word mouse next to it, someone might be like, I guess. Apple mouse, it's so bad. Yeah, at uni, I don't understand. I don't get it. At uni, in an actual design course, they sat those mice in front of us and we had to use those things. They're just, you get to the point where you bring your own mouse. Like, yeah, they were like Wacom touch, not touch. They were like Wacom pen input screens, but you're not gonna like click on everything just like on the screen. You still want to be able to use a mouse, especially in Illustrator. They're so annoying. They would get dirty. Yeah, they get all grimy around the seams. If they made a mouse with no buttons and no wheel, yeah, it's all touch. Ugh. Why? A mouse of all things should be as tactile as you can possibly make it. Technically, it does have clicks, but buttons are for poor people. Be playful. The no. There's no good way around that either. That's the problem with it. You set yourself up here for a solution that you can't solve. We have B and the right way up, and then we have playful on its side. And then we have zoo, the right way up, not on its side. But you can't swap it either. You can't rotate this 90 degrees because you end up with the exact same problem. Then it also just looks like it says the new. What you need to do in this situation is rethink the whole thing. You can't have playful going down like this if you're gonna want to do the same with zoo. Bog. Think bog. And Apple will help you do it too. If you're ever a little bit constipated, Apple will help you slurp out a sweet bog. Slurp is the wrong choice of words. There's an SL word I'm thinking of. Slide out a sweet bog. Just get it, and Apple will do it. Think bag? Yeah, you're right. It's bag, it's bog, but it's just definitely not big. We all know that's what you're going for here. At the very most, I'm giving you think bag. Oh, we've got an emergency phone that triggers whenever you open this locker. They probably get rang so often. My goodness, that is terrifying. Yes, a bog is a swamp. It's also what comes out of your butt. Maybe that's an Australian terminology. It's absolutely terrifying. What's he on, first of all? What's he, like, is he lying across it? He's a massively wide mouth. I guess this is a bubble gun, and he makes bubbles out of his mouth. Why does he even need to make bubbles out of his mouth? There's so many other ways you could have done this with Ben 10. We've got a sheriff car making a difference. In Comic Sans. Yes, here it is. The Comic Sans. The single biggest troublemaker in design history. So the whole Comic Sans thing, I think it does full circle. I think you kind of go all the way back around where you're allowed to use Comic Sans again in design. And I understand that Comic Sans actually has a lot of really useful situations. Apparently it's really good for people with dyslexia and all that kind of thing. It's not to say that Comic Sans is not a useful font. The issue comes from when people use it in just the wrong situations, because it's by all means an ugly font. The quotation marks that would do it for me. Oh, true. We've got a sheriff car. You're probably right. That's probably the actual point of this image. Making a difference. Yeah, that's what we're doing. I was just too caught up on the Comic Sans debate. I liked Comic Sans as a kid. Every kid likes Comic Sans. Comic Sans is the only default Windows comic font. And that's the whole idea of Comic Sans. It was attempting to be... Whose was it? It was someone's proprietary. It might have just been Apple's, but I doubt it. I think it was someone else's... I don't know. I should know. Someone else's proprietary comic font, and they wanted to rip it off the same way Arial was a rip-off of... Helvetica. But in the making of Comic Sans, they instead made something that looks like it's for kindergarteners, which if you're going to use it for kindergarteners, then by all means. I'm using Comic Sans in better Twitch TV chat now. Oh, it's like, you remember back in the day, you know what's terrible design? Is back in the day when Samsung used to let you change their font and everybody had that one horrid, way worse, terrible looking font. They would all change it to that one that was just the most ugly looking thing they could come up with. Is it still a thing? You can still do it? Wait, these are the fonts they let you let you choose from. They're all shocking. Why would anyone want any one of these fonts? Oh, you can get fonts online? Maybe this was like someone's custom ones. This one here, I remember it being a lot worse than that though. This is still bad. And I don't think anyone should ever have their phone in this font unless you'd like bad things. But I feel like there was one that was more like it had squiggles in it. They still let you do it? You can still download fonts. I actually appreciate that idea that you can download fonts and you can change the font to whatever you want. But why are they giving you this one? Add Pro. Like what? Astronauts even. What are these terrible fonts? Samsung One, that's pretty good. That's all right. Default, if you really want something readable, go Gothic Bold. Help. Firefighter Kevin needs your help to get through this maze. Well, Firefighter Kevin's an idiot because all he needs to do is turn around. Wow. One little line here and you would have solved this problem. Oh, RAF sign, graphic design. No. I can't believe that. There's an actual graphic design place that has the single worst graphic design for their signage. That is shocking. That is so bad. Comic Sans. Comic Sans would be better. Just Comic Sans and just a white font, whatever. I don't care. It'd be better than this. Oh, yes. Herpes mug. What's it supposed to say? Wait, what's it supposed to say? Herbs with an E? An extra E? Is this another language? Or is it actually just a herpes mug? Maybe they just open at night so you can read it better. The graphic design place that only opens at night. Yeah, you see, I, stream on Twitch during the day and then I moonlight graphic design. It's just sort of like a passion project for me. Heroes? It could be heroes. I think that's probably what it is then. Heroes. Why does it say heroes though? It's kind of an odd thing to have written on a... Maybe this is one of those situations where there's like a blank bit here and then you can get whatever word you want printed, but it doesn't look like it because then these lines wouldn't always line up. Either way, herpes mug. That's bad design. This says here, the art on a train table just looks like a disgusting stain. This here is supposed to be art on a table? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? No. Someone just spilled a pudding cup. Yeah, and then they're like, oh, it's beautiful. And they just scan it and print it on every single table in the train. What is it? Yeah, I don't know. I think this thing looks a little bit like a flower. That's as far as I've gotten. Is it? I think maybe it's supposed to just be abstract. That is shocking. Imagine being in the cleaner and you're just trying to rub it off for like an hour and you're like, oh, it just won't come off. Then you finally move on to the next one and pull it down. You realize they're all like that. The pen exploded. They're like, yes. It's a bird? How is it a bird? You explain to me, what part of this is what? Is this supposed to be a head? Then what's this? That can't be the leg. Surely it's not a bird. A duck? It's a duck? I literally have the scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail in the chat. Everyone's just like, I don't know, it's a duck. Flower top left. The rest, yeah, I feel like there's a flower. I cannot make any sense of the rest of this. A fox? Come along and play with my duck. It's right here on the tray table. Yikes. That's pretty scary. Did they not think about that? That things look scary when you fold them in half? Have they not seen dollar bills folded in half? Oh no. Oh no. Star Wars. Asked. Or. Asked o re. Star Wars. Arstory. The weirdest thing about that is that reading it, even though it doesn't say that, you just want to think that this says Star Wars Art Store, right? Like I can't help but read that as Star Wars Art Store. Anyway, we film these live. So, why don't you come and follow me on Twitch where you can see it happen live. Be a part of it. Be a part of the chat right here. You guys can also be just spamming Star Wars Art Store in the chat and get some of the Lemon Cotton merch or the Nug Thug merch, and subscribe to my main channel. It's linked down below. But otherwise, we're continuing to do whatever this is every day right here. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.